Subtraction of fractions involving whole numbers and unlike denominators. First example is we have 3 2/3 minus 1 1/4. So the first thing is, let's find the LCD between those two denominators. And that is 3 and then 4. Since they both don't have anything in common, 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. So therefore the LCD is going to be 12. So let's rewrite this fraction, these fractions. So we have 3 2/3 minus 1 1/4. Again, we stated that the LCD is going to be 12. So we're going to rewrite this as 3 with our denominator of 12. And this is going to be 1 with a denominator of 12. So let's take a look here. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, so that means that 3 times 4 is going to give us 12. Which means that we should do the same thing to the numerator, so 2 times 4 is going to give us 8. Okay, then we know that 12 divided by 4 is 3, so 4 times 3 is 12, and therefore 1 times 3 is going to give us 3. Well, the nice thing in this problem is that we can take 3 and subtract 1, which is great. So 3 minus 1 is going to give us 2. And then 8 minus 3 is going to give us 5 over 12. So that one worked out nice. Now, let's try this when we convert them into improper fractions. So we already know what the LCD is. So we have the fractions 3 2/3 minus 1 1/4. So we're going to convert them into improper fractions. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11, so we have 11 over 3, minus 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is going to give us 5/4. Now again, we know that the LCD is going to be 12, so we're going to rewrite this with a denominator of 12. So 3 times 4 gives us 12, so 11 times 4 is going to give us 44. Okay, next we know that 4 times 3 is going to give us 12. So 5 times 3 is going to give us 15. So now what we need to do is we need to take 44 and we need to subtract 15. So 44 minus 15 gives us 29 over 12. And now we need to convert this into a mixed number. So 12 goes into 29. Well, we know that 12 times 2 is 24. And subtract, we get a remainder of 5. So therefore, the quotient is 2, the remainder is 5 over the divisor of 12, and that gives us the same result in the first part. Okay, next. We have 8 1/2 minus 3 4/7. So let's find the LCD between those two denominators. So if we find the LCD between 2 and 7, that means they're both prime, so 2 times 7 is going to give us 14. Let's go ahead and rewrite these fractions. So we have 8 1/2 minus 3 4/7. So we know that the new common denominator is going to be 14. So we have 8 with a denominator of 14 minus 3 with a denominator of 14. Now 14 divided by 2 is 7, so 2 times 7 is going to give us 14. And so therefore 1 times 7 is going to give us 7. Now 14 divided by 7 is 2, so 7 times 2 is 14. So 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. Okay, so now we run into this problem here where we have 8 minus 3. So we can subtract 3 from 8, but we cannot subtract 8 from the 7. So that means we need to borrow. Okay? Borrowing means that we need to borrow from this 8 and 7/14. So over here, I'm just going to draw a line to separate this one here. Okay, so I'm going to take this 8 and 7/14. And I'm going to borrow a 1 from that. So if I borrow a 1 from that, this is the same thing as saying 7 plus 1 and 7/14. Okay, this is the same thing as saying 7 plus 1 plus 7/14. Now why do I do that? Because we want to make this 1 into something divided by itself so it matches this 7/14. Now anything that can be 1 can be divided by itself, so we want a common denominator of 14. So we can write this 1 to actually be 14/14 plus 7/14. And so therefore now we can combine these all. So we have 7, 14 plus 7 is going to be 21/14. So that means 8 and 7/14 is equivalent to 7 and 21/14. So that means now in step 4 we're going to write this as 7 21/14 minus 3 and 8/14. So now, can we take away 3 from 7? The answer is yes. Can we take away 8 from 21? The answer is now yes. Now we can subtract. So we know that 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, and then if we take 21 and subtract 8, that's going to give us 13/14. Okay, so again, if you can't subtract it, you're going to have to borrow it and turn it into a new mixed number. Now, if you want to avoid this when you're subtracting, then we can just convert them into mixed numbers. So again, in improper fractions. So we have 8 and 1/2, So we have 8 and 1/2 minus 3 and 4/7. So in step 3, we're going to say 2 times 8, which is 16, plus 1 is 17. So we have 17/2 minus 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4 is now 25/7. Now again, we determined that the LCD is 14, so we have 14, and then minus over here we have 14. And again, 14 divided by 2 is 7, so 2 times 7 is going to give us 14. And then 17 times 7 is going to give us 119. Okay, next we're going to take 14 and divide it by 7, which is 2. So 7 times 2 is going to give us 14. So we're going to take 25 and multiply that by 2, which gives us 50. So now we have a common denominator, so we're going to take 119 and we're going to subtract 50, which gives us 69/14. Now we want to convert this into a mixed number. So how many times does 14 go into 69? Well, it goes in 4 times, because 14 times 4 is going to give us 56. When we subtract, we get a remainder of 13. So therefore, we have a quotient of 4, a remainder of 13/14.